Last time I ended by saying that your soul uses the information and the signals that it gets from your emotions, and by this you are able to take the novel encounters that you will have with the Lord and understand them, because every encounter with God is novel, and therefore it means that it is unknown. And you use your intuition to discover and to unravel the unknown, and not a base, formulaic, analytical process. So essentially what I'm saying is that there is an essence to something, and then there is a significance to something. And so the essence of a chair might be that it is an object that was created in order for somebody to sit in, right? But the significance of a chair, well, that could be very vast. You imagine a small child pushing a chair across the kitchen floor in order to fix dinner with its mother, right? So the chair embodies a nostalgic, familial understanding that it no longer had. Or imagine somebody looking at a large chair and they are replaying all of the memories that they have had of somebody that they love getting significantly older, like a child and imagining their parent. And as their parent grows older and older through the memories that they have of them sitting in this chair, they get to the point where they've got to help their parent put their shoes on and help them in and out of the chair. And all of a sudden, the chair becomes this repository of memories. And so you have to realize that the thing I am trying to bring out is not necessarily the essence of God. And I've said before, I do believe that there are many people who are trying to pursue and understand those ideas. And I believe that God has given them that purpose in their heart, and they should follow their intuition concerning it. However, God has given me my own significant purpose, and my purpose is to understand the significance of these things. When I think of the story of Elijah, the first telling of the story of Elijah is a prophet in Israel. He works various miracles, and the end of his life is him getting caught up into a chariot of fire, essentially raptured, if you will. Well, who is the second Elijah in the Bible? Well, that would be John the Baptist. Now, John the Baptist does no miracles, has a singular message about the coming Christ, baptizes people, something the previous Elijah never did, and ends his life by being beheaded. So the first coming of Elijah is completely separate in essence, in actuality, in fact, in that particular analytical understanding from the first coming. But yet Jesus Christ tells us that this is Elijah. And then Revelation tells you that there will be a third coming of Elijah, right? A prophetical third coming of Elijah during the time of tribulation. So is that coming to be expressed through the essence of what the individual said that they could do, or is it to be expressed through the significance of what the third coming of an Elijah would mean? I think that you couldn't really get a straight answer even from the most educated and profound people, the most respected, the people that you would have the most esteem for. They would struggle to answer that question for you in a way that you might find satisfactory. And what I would tell you is that no matter the essence of it, there's certainly got to be a deep significance to it. And it is going to be different than either one of the previous comings of Elijah. So if every encounter with God is novel, then every encounter with God is an unknown encounter. My kids often, I work in an industry, a lot of you know, I work for the railroad, and so I will see, various different wildlife at different times. I saw a baby alligator the other day, and I told my kids about it, and my kids, well, why didn't you take a picture? I was like, well, two things. I can't have my phone with me at all times, and two, I didn't know I was about to see a baby alligator, and that's difficult for them to understand because of how they understand the world. They only know that it is a missed opportunity of observation, right? And therefore, because it's a missed opportunity of observation, the wonder of the surprise is a little bit lost on them because they didn't get to experience it. And so I think that the way that I would talk about the Lord might seem as if I am trying to disregard any fundamentalist orthodox teaching or doctrine in order to get you to swing towards or embrace emotions. The problem with that understanding of it is that you think that this is a zero-sum game, where because you have one thing, you therefore cannot have the other, or because you are doing one thing, you therefore cannot do the other. I am neither proposing that nor stating that that is the case, meaning simply there is absolutely nothing about what I'm trying to showcase to you that would somehow divorce your understanding of the Trinity or the deity of Christ or your salvation. Furthermore, what I am trying to do is get you to understand that even though you most likely are saved, do understand the Trinity and the divinity of Jesus Christ, you are still lacking in genuine encounters with God because you have misplaced the tools that God have given you by giving them no significance. The things that you could say about emotions being invalid would be the same thing that I would say about logic being invalid. You cannot divorce the morality of Christianity without divorcing the God of Christianity. And therefore, if you divorce the morality of Christianity with your emotions and use your emotions as a tool for evil, then you will not be a Christian, and your emotions will be a tool for how you direct them. And the same is true for your logic. You can just as quickly have a bad idea as you can have a poor belief. So don't value one over another, and don't discredit one over another because you can think of examples. Understand that these are two aspects that must work in tandem to one another, and that your logic is built upon the underlying emotions, and that those underlying emotions lead you to a central ethic, and that central ethic is God. Now, that's a lot of individual steps I've given you to something that you already know is true. The Bible says it this way in the book of Romans: those that were without the law, they were without the law, they did the law, right? And he says that you had the law written on your hearts, right? So there's an amazing thing where somehow God was trying to communicate to you that the conscience that he gave you from birth was a method for him to interact with man and to guide man towards himself. But yet, that has been discredited for the ideas that one might have about God, and most of those ideas are surrounding what is the essence of God, and not as what is the significance of God, which I think is a very more interesting question.